Two affordable 1911 pistols, the stout 45 ACP on the right and the slightly faster younger brother 9mm on the left. Two offerings from Alpha Foxtrot. This is our first look at these two pistols, and we're going to talk about them. Stick around. I want to welcome you to Riders Range while we take a look at two more 1911s that'll be added to our series. Both of these are furnished by Alpha Foxtrot, relatively new in their catalog. They look identical. There are a couple of differences, however. First off, Alpha Foxtrot offers 1911s in full size, as these are. Commander, they also make both full size and Commander in 45 ACP and 9mm, and you have full size here in one of each, a 45 on the right and the 9mm on the left. You can also get them with a couple of different finishes. The polished DLC is what we have here, the DLC for diamond-like carbon. And you can also get DLC in matte finish, and I believe there's one other finish available on the 1911 series from Alpha Foxtrot. By the way, these are made down in Duluth, Georgia, and the slides and frame are hand-lapped on both of these guns. They look identical. There are a couple of differences. So we'll talk about the similarities first. I'm only going to show on the 45 here on the right. Typical 1911 configuration, except when you get to the cocking serrations, has forward and rear cocking serrations, and these are more scallops than they are actual serrations, but they still allow a good purchase on the pistol, front or rear, and I guess purchase is the word that I have to use if I'm displaying a firearm, right? The polished DLC finish does have a tendency to show fingerprints pretty easy, but it is an attractive finish on these guns. Definitely like them. All right, ambidextrous safety on both of these. It is a Swenson style ambi safety that is maintained or retained in place by the grip panel. 3-hole trigger, typical skeletonized hammer. 3-dot sights on both of these. They are green insets on them. It looks like fiber optic, but I don't believe they are. In fact, I'm not positive exactly what they are at this point, but we'll find out more before I do the range reviews on both of them. And the rear sight on this is adjustable for elevation, and it is dovetailed, so it is drift adjustable for windage if we need to do that. And it looks like on the 45 it may be just a hair to the left. We're going to find out when we take it to the range. And again, both of these are virtually identical guns with the exception of caliber and a couple other things. So Picatinny rail on these. Again, you can get them with or without a rail. Generic G10 type grips that provide good traction in the hand. Machine checkering on the front strap, machine checkering on the mainspring housing, speed bump on the grip safety. Nice touch here on this is the flush cut and crowned barrel on both the guns, and full length guide rod. And these are bull barrel guns, not bushing. A little bit unusual for a 5-inch gun, but not completely out of the question. And of course, you can see the difference obviously on the front between the 9mm on the left and the 45 on the right, just in bore diameter. Full length guide rod, and let's see if I can get just enough view in there. I'm not sure the camera's going to pick that up, but on the 45 and the 9, both, it is a ramped barrel, and even the barrels and the guide rod are even the DLC finish. Very little in the way of engraving on the slides, just the Alpha Foxtrot logo on the left and on the right on both of these. That's all it shows, and I like that minimalist approach to it. Both guns come with one Wilson magazine. It's too bad they don't come with more, but hey, at least it's a Wilson mag, which is what my go-to is normally anyway. The 9mm comes with the Elite Tactical magazine. 10 round has the larger base pad on it, but a metal follower. 45 comes with just the standard Wilson 8-round full-size mag, Wilson base pad on it, but also a polymer contoured follower. I've had good luck with both of these mags, but they are slightly different between the 9 and the 45. Couple of minor differences though, weight, and the biggest difference in weight is going to be the fact that the barrel on the 9mm has the same outside diameter as the 45, but obviously a smaller inside diameter, therefore the barrel itself is going to be heavier. I'm guessing that makes up for the about 1.5 ounces difference between the two. The 45 comes in at 39.5 ounces. The 9mm comes in at 40.8 ounces. And again, those are unloaded weights. I normally like to do loaded weights, but I'm going to wait till we get out to the range to do those. Big difference in the two, though, is the trigger. You wouldn't think there'd be any difference, but there is. The 9mm has, of course, I already showed these are unloaded. 9mm has a little bit of take-up, which is somewhat typical. It also has a good return on it. I'll talk about that more when we get to the 45, but it's got a good return and almost no creep, typical 1911 trigger, a good 1911 trigger, which is basically an on-off switch. This one comes in at a 5-pull average of 3 pounds, 10.4 ounces, and very short tactile reset. And again, a good push from the mainspring on this that gets it back out where you need it to be. There's a little up and down play, very, very little, but a good feel on the trigger, and it does have an over travel stop, and there is virtually no over travel on the 9mm. 45, on the other hand, is a lighter trigger, comes in at 2 pounds, 6.2 ounces on a 5-pull average. And again, a little bit of up and down play, not much, but just a little. It's got a little bit of take-up. Now on this one, there's almost no resistance from the center leaf of the mainspring pushing that trigger back, almost none. Nice trigger, nice feel when you pull through it. And again, virtually no over travel because it has an over travel stop that's been properly adjusted on it. And very, very short tactile reset, but less feel on the reset on this one. Just because there's not a lot of push from the mainspring. There's the, let's see if I can show the reset on this again. There's the reset. I can feel it and hear it, but there's not much to it. Again, there's not much push on the trigger on this. We'll have to see how that, if it makes any difference when I get it out to the range. Let's see, one other thing we didn't mention on this, we'll show this on the 9, and that is really pretty good fit and finish. The extractor is not quite perfectly flush with the slide, but again, it's a good fit. The slide to frame, and again, these are hand lapped slide to frame. Very good fit on both of these guns. The slide to ejector is also very well fitted. There's I can feel just a little bit when I run my hand over it. But again, for a sub $1,500 gun, these are very well fitted. I like both of them in how well they're put together, and the fact that they're hand lapped. There is absolutely no movement between the slide and the frame. I'm going to have to clean these up and get the factory lube off of them before I take them out to the range and hand lube everything again, and we'll see how they work. But again, there's virtually no movement at all. The bull barrel, I can't feel any movement again between the barrel and the slide, which is more important actually than the slide to frame. But they do feel really, really nice running the slide. Some of the nicest feeling production 1911s I've had. So that is just a relatively quick look at 2 more offerings from Alpha Foxtrot. We're going to get them out to the range, and we'll do individual range reviews on these 2 guns, and we'll let you know how they work out. So just a quick look. Thanks for dropping into Riders Range.